Pongia, nice and tense.
Yeah, they do look really ready to play out there this evening. Congratulations also to the boys and girls from Rangitoto College. That was wonderful, those national anthems.
Super League season proper out of the way. Russell Smith will be the man in control tonight. And Kearney to lead the way with the haka. Slightly outnumbered, just hope they all remind themselves to leave the field.
Well, we have gone into test matches at times where we need that many people, but I don't think we need that many out there tonight. We've got 13 very, very good players starting this game. Certainly the equal, I believe, to what the Australians have put out there.
Good atmosphere, good feel to this one tonight already. Problems for the Kiwis in the past have been the slow start to a game, getting caught on the hop. Endicott finds his seat.
Special moment for Frank here tonight.
Ridge breathes at the backs of the Australians, and a very solid one. Gives you a good idea the way that holds up. Just manages to make the 20 before it's brought back by Adamson.
And that would be probably one of Matthew's shortest kickoffs ever. That just shows how strong that wind was.
Wendell Saylor. He'll do plenty of work for the forwards. Radshorn. Pongia flying in, along with Tony Iro. Stevens, one of the stars of the final series. Smith with a penalty and a warning about keeping the tackles down. Didn't bother to pull anybody out. Gatorade replay.
Well, we can see here maybe just a little high. We can probably get a better shot there. Not a great deal in it, but the referee stamping his authority immediately. As long as he remembers it's a test match.
Stevens wants some more. Logan Swan received the warning. Pongia over the top this time on Stevens. Thorne. Backing up 6 days. 7 days, I should say, after the grand final. Lockyer running around. No Shepherd, says Russell Smith. Ran off a dummy half for Adamson. The Australians down inside the Kiwi 20. Some punishing defence from Lomax. Great shot on Adamson. Daly very wide, as is Clyde. Great defence. Blackmore with a powerful tackle. Daly trying to hang it up. Ridge to come from the back and climb confidently. So very solid start. The Australians offside in front of the kick.
Yeah, it was a very good solid start in defence there from New Zealand. Finished off with a great take from Anthony Ridge. Not a lot of pressure on him, but it was a good start, as we can see here on the Gatorade replay. Matthew way back on his own there. He had to move in. Good judgment of the wind.
Penalties are all square. Remind also, Lowy, that those in goals are very, very short. The bare minimum taken up by New Zealand, worrying about the Australian kicking game.
Yeah, well, they are trying to take that component out of their game. That's particularly rolling the ball into the end goal, at which the Australians are so clever at.
Great strong run from Kearney to get out near the 50. Pongia backing him up. Great support. Pack really firing up there. He wants an early touch and a good scurry from dummy half. Last tackle. Ridge standing flat. Plenty of pressure on him. Managed to push it out the back. Lomax. Don't see that too often. Sends it straight down to Nagus. One of the danger men. Three of the best returners of the ball for the Australians: Nagus, Lockyer and Saylor.
Certainly the Australians are going to sweat on Matthew Ridge. When they see him in position to kick the ball, they will chase him no matter how tired they are, particularly out of that first mark area.
Don't know, Gary Freeman, that we overplay the strength of the breeze so often in football these days, the modern game, but big breeze at the back of the Australians.
Yeah, there certainly is a big breeze, and I don't think they'll muck around too much here. I think they'll take about 3 or 4 up, then kick the ball. But before that, as Laurie Daly puts the ball down out to Matthew Ridge, I thought Bradley Clyde had knocked the ball on the tackle. That's what Tony Ira was crying out for.
You called it pretty sweet. Australians not wasting any time with that advantage. They'll try and wear the Kiwis down in this first 40.
Well, we say it week in, week out, but in test matches more than any other time, making a mistake at your own end of the ground can break your country's heart.
Cronulla showed that in the grand final against the Broncos. Kevin Iro. Haven't seen enough of him this season. Injury has curtailed most of the year as Lomax hits it up, but Iro's got a tough one tonight against Reynolds.
Well, I think Kevin Iro is well up to it, and I mean, as far as the attack side goes, Steve Reynolds going to have his hands full with Kevin Iro, who is a giant.
Great ball. Great ball from Stacey Jones to send Ridge away now for Hoppy. First hit of a clean bust, last tackle against the Kiwis. Awful ball, got away from Jones. Namu quickly for Tony Iro, for Kevin. Wrapped up, pushes it inside, sits up, Jones, another one up, Namu, he needs to shift, and does. Eru, clever thinking, chases on! Got it! He's got it! You want to talk about a flying start for New Zealand? Bird has flown early here at North Harbour.
Well, we can see here on the Gatorade replay, New Zealand doing everything here to keep the ball alive. It just about got held up here with Kevin Iro, but he managed to use his height, pop the ball over the top. After that, with just everyone backing one another up, Big Johnny Lomax looms up from nowhere, puts his boot to it, or Sid Eru put his boot to it, backs it up, and gee whiz, that's 2 bad mistakes for Wendell Saylor there in 2 weeks.
Clever play, but great play in keeping this alive, Gaz.
Oh, certainly great play there by the Kiwis. And first off, you see there, Nama got caught with the ball, and a great tap through there by Sid Eru. But Wendell Saylor tried to kick that ball, misses it completely. And Sid Eru goes out for a good try for the Kiwis. That's the pressure they have to add to the Australians.
Ridge. Want to put your house on it. What a start, 6-0 New Zealand. Sid Eru, 13 tests for New Zealand, 3 tries tonight. This one to really put some confidence into their play.
And when you say confidence into New Zealand play, you've got to wonder what effect that had on Wendell Saylor. Frankie Endicott not showing too much emotion there.
Too early to think about it. 18-0 in 1985. Graham Lowe, the Kiwis' last home win tonight might just be the night.
Well, I think it will be the night tonight, to tell the truth. Good feel about the place tonight, and you've got to say congratulations also to Hugh McGann for taking the gamble. A lot of people thought it was coming here, a lot of knockers he had, but I think he's proved them all wrong because there's a wonderful crowd, a wonderful atmosphere.
Nothing wrong with that. 58% already for the Kiwis, just territory though, falling for New Zealand. Here comes Renouf. Great ball around the back. Smith just couldn't get there. So the Australians looking for the instant reply. Inside the 20, Daly trying to put the foot down. Green outside, running with tons of support. Stevens, short ball up for Clyde, punishing defence. Hoppy comes up with it, and Clyde is still down.
The Gatorade replay shows punishing defence, all right.
There's no doubt he caught the tackle that started up around the neck. There might be a further look at that one. Took a high shot and he's out at the moment.
Graham, just quickly, he's not out. He is absolutely asleep, and that was a high shot.
Well, hang on. The trainers have rushed upfield trying to get the attention of Russell Smith. They're more than concerned about Clyde. Someone's trying to catch his eye. They need to stop the play. Tony Iro out wide. Blackmore. Now the trainer goes over to have a second go at Russell Smith, the referee. still allowing play to continue. Clyde is sitting up down the other end. Swan, ridge into the line, kicking ahead, trying to find Barnett, will not. Now they'll check with Clyde.
Once again, we had a great passage of play from the New Zealand side here. Gatorade replay shows everyone lining up, wanting to get into play. Matthew put the little kick through. Just didn't quite have the direction, went out over the sideline, but it's still going to maintain some pressure on the Australian side.
I don't know, you turn or tell me to all wheel.
Still with Clyde down at the other end.
The
Trainers will get him back to the bench and the head bin, although Clyde's keen to continue.
Quite surprised the touch judges didn't come on from that tackle because it was definitely high.
Richie, Pink, Matthew, get your 5 metres. Wait while it's out.
No doubt about that. The scrum to pack.
Hold your 5 metres till the ball's out. You Kiwi back three.
And they're still waiting for Clyde.
Stephen, stay in the pack till the ball's out.
Gary Freeman, the last Kiwi victory over the Australians, 1991. You'll never remember, or never forget it, I should say, in Melbourne. How good was this Australian side in comparison to that one?
Oh, mate, look, that was nearly 5 or 6 years ago, so players chop and change. The same with the Kiwis and the Australian side. So, mate, I don't try and compare sides, but this is a very, very good Australian side, like the one we played in 91. I'll tell you what, Richie Blackwell might have to watch out for that tackle that he did put on Bradley Clyde.
Thorne. Another who'll work all night.
Get off him quickly. Back off.
And already the Australians look to have the job ahead. Green. Great fingertip control, great skill from Daly. Lockyer. Chipping. Making sure with that breeze that it stays in play down towards the in goal. Great chase coming up. Lockyer rushing to follow his own kick. Now trying to link up to put down Blackmore. Great change of direction for Hoppy. Great positional play from the back three.
Well, wonderful support for one another, that's what it was, and confidence shown.
Namu.
Release, back up, Ozzy. Come on, Ollie. Get up quicker.
Tongia.
2, release.
Already 4 missed tackles against the Australians. Swan.
3, get off it.
Thought about popping it up. Jones. Kearney. He and Tony Iro will try. Stay a couple of passes wide. Create some chances for the outside men. Now inside for Barnett. He pushes it. Now that looked as though it might have come off the shoulder of Australia. Had a hint there that runoff might have been offside. Thorne. 3 in the tackle. Nothing wrong with the enthusiasm. Still more mistakes from Sailor. John Lang in there, the Australian coach, must be concerned already. Kevin Iro nearly got in behind the line. Kearney.
2, hands up.
Eru. Quickly up for Logan Swan.
3, release. Come on.
Total errors just against the Australians. Eru rushing short side. Blackmore, straight over the top, just short. What a save from Lockyer. Got assistance from Darren Smith. They nearly got another one.
Well, Blackmore's already causing a lot of problems out there on the right flank. He's a giant of a man, as big as most second rows. And then you've got Kevin Iro on the other side, the same size. This was a really good dart out of dummy half here from Sid Eru. And just look at the size of the man, look at the strength of him. He is a really, really difficult guy to stop. Little Darren Lockyer did a great job, really.
That close to the line, that is quite a performance from Lockyer. 10 metres out from their own line, battling to bring it away. Daly shows the way as skipper. Ridge came up to shorten it. Now Daly got up awkwardly. Little knock on in there. Things are just not going right. This is a terrific start from New Zealand. They are firing.
Well, New Zealand, we can see here on the Gatorade replay, putting plenty of pressure on there. A simple little basic error at the dummy half position by Steve Renoff, just knocking it on. But they are under enormous pressure at the moment, the Australian side. But that man, Laurie Daly, just shows what he's capable of. He can explode out of anywhere.
Namu. Back it comes now for Hoppy.
Back off quickly. Let him up, Wall.
Jones looking for runners. Tony Iro. Midfield just outside the 20. Plenty of hustle and bustle.
Hands up quicker, Aussies.
Lomax. Decision was made by Endicott to start with him up front. Went for his more experienced front row. To the back line. Inside finally for Kevin Iro. Well read by Brad Thorne, who followed across. Stayed on the inside. Kearney with the big step. Last tackle. One more for New Zealand inside the 20. Jones. All that's out there is Richie Barnett. Lockyer quite brilliant to come from the back.
A great take there from Darren Lockyer. Just shows how skillful he is also under the high ball as Matthew Ridges. Wendell Saylor, though, he's had 3 touches of the ball. We can see here on the Gatorade replay. Lockyer just climbing up, really just takes those things in a breeze. But Wendell Saylor, the 3 times that he's touched the ball, once in the grand final, twice out there today, he's made mistakes. Must be preying on his mind.
Green for Daly. Darren Smith. Well picked off by Blackmore, who is so heavily involved. Stevens. Just wonder, Gary, if quite a few of these players are still trying to shake the grand final blues.
Well, it seems like they might have had an extended week on the grand final, whether they won or they lost. But, I mean, New Zealand is making them make mistakes around that ruck area. They're playing the ball a lot quicker. They're getting back, and they're really hustling and bustling the LG side. But now they've got to keep going now. 20-odd minutes into the game, and we're offloading at will.
Fabulous start into the breeze.
A lot of pressure on Australia because they have got that big breeze behind them, and they know that there are a number of points behind that breeze. So
they've got time in possession their way. They've got territory, a massive stat for them. They've got to add to the scoreboard. They know with those stats that 6-0 is not enough. Australian bench can still go to some stars when they're in trouble, so they need more points. They'll get a chance. Daly picked off for holding down. Explosive start from New Zealand, and Daly on the Gatorade replay tried to slow down the pace.
Well, he's trying to use his experience there. He tested the referee's patience as long as he could, and he ended up getting the penalty against him. But things just are not going for Australia at the moment.
I'll tell you what, Graham, the referee, has got absolutely plenty to say out there. He's talking throughout this whole match, and he hasn't shut up since. I'm glad I'm not out there with him.
Trying to keep them apart as Lomax takes it towards the 20. Pongy to set it up. Opportunity either side, but they cough it up. Did Namu get there in time? He didn't. It will come up for the Australians as the Kiwi bench warms. Smith. Haven't had a great deal of possession. Might try and hang on for a couple of tackles instead of going to the kick early. Girdler picked off, and Hoppy will get a warning, which, I mean, to try and compare that to the Blackmore tackle on Clyde, there is none. And yet that one was picked off immediately.
Well, I think the referee was let down by his touch judges also with the Blackmore incident, because it's pretty obvious to see, but
Gatorade replay, Hoppy chased him. Didn't look to be a lot in it.
Mate, that was nothing on that last tackle, but Reggie tried to go up to the referee and say, come on, mate, there's nothing wrong with that, and he just peels on straight away.
Thorne, 12 metres out. Clyde, recovered, short side, support from Darren Smith.
that right-hand defence of New Zealand's very, very effective sliding at the moment.
Green. Stevens nearly overran it. Line ball, that pass. Daly goes back inside. Great tackle from Lomax. A couple of big shots from him. Green, left alone by Adamson. Great hands from Renoff. Excellent defence matched up by Stacey Jones. Green again, still looking for support. Saylor shows his strength to fight with three right in front of the post. Last tackle.
Play ball.
Green forced to go extra wide. Now back inside. Good quick hand. Smith, he keeps it alive. Clyde, defence just swarms in. Daly to the in goal. Great defence. outstanding pressure.
Outstanding defence from New Zealand. And I have the feeling also that an intercept's just about on the begging. The way the Australians are spreading the ball so wide and so flat. See here on the Gatorade replay, they were throwing everything at New Zealand here. But that right-hand defence of New Zealand's in particular is working very, very well.
That short in goal, again testing Laurie Daly. Australians used to 10 and 12 metre in goals. Error.
But when you say that, so are the New Zealanders, because they play on the same ground, so it's exactly the same for both sides.
Ira wrestling with them as Jones gets it. Looking the more dangerous, looking the more settled. Kearney. Daly in there making a lot of defence, really trying to lift his young side. Jones and Namu. Lincoln. Quick hands required from Iro, knocked down, I think, by the Australians, and Iro will go back. 6 more tackles. Nice bonus out of it.
10 metres.
He kept on warning, kept on asking. They didn't get back 10.
At least 2 players well inside the 10 after being told.
Robbie Paul sitting there, he wants to get on as soon as he can, but the referee talking to both sides in defence, trying to keep them back to 10 metres, and both sides are guilty, really, of not listening to him.
Here's the perfect time. Extra set of 6. Plenty of pressure. You go down inside the 20. Time to look for a favourite move. Tony Iro to Kevin. Pushes it back again for Tony Iro. Stacey Jones. Just inside the 20.
You get in front again.
Lomax looking for some hard work right up the middle. Quick play of the ball. Jones and Namu. Logan Swan went without. Tony Iro with the dummy. Get everybody. Tell you what, this big second rower is going to remember that one for a long, long time. Gets them all on their feet at North Harbour. Now everybody starts thinking early days, but the chance of the big upset is on.
Well, we can see here on the Gatorade replay, big Tony Iro, he's a very fast man. Dummies to his brother there. His brother wouldn't have liked that, but he got a big smile on his face as soon as the big man went over the line.
Has there been a better moment in 20 tests for Tony Iro? He did run off easy, Gary.
Oh, he certainly did, but the big thing is they started running angles. It stopped right off right in his tracks there. He threw the big dummy, carried on, went over for a tremendous try there for the Kiwis. Just watch this how he holds him up. Runs across the field, drops Kevin back inside, goes, straightens up, goes over, mate. Very, very professional try there. Knew they'd hold up the Australian defence.
Well, that was the key, Gary. You hit right on it there because the sliding defence was coming across, and the only way to change it, we can see here on the Rebel Sports profile, Tony Iro, plenty of experience there, 29 years old, a giant.
Well, a giant of a headache out wide for the Australians. Now, Reeves gives you a good idea of this angle and the breeze. He's only taken it back 10 metres from the try line. Doesn't think into that breeze that he could make it if he went back out to open it up near the 20. Great thinking from one of the world's best. This would be some sort of special goal. Not a bad effort. 10-6 New Zealand. Everybody happy at North Harbour with the 10-point break. Smiles on the bench. Still early days, but a flyer of a start.
Sensational start for New Zealand. It just couldn't be any better. Everything dropping into place for them. Playing into the breeze. They've got Australia under pressure. They're forcing errors, uncharacteristic of some of these Australian players, and they are feeling the pinch, and I think probably showing to a certain extent their inexperience in the test arena.
About 17 and a half minutes remaining in this first 40. Let's not forget, guys, that they're going to turn around in the second spell with that great breeze at their back.
Yeah, they certainly are going to turn around, but you hear the crowd just roaring there. Johnny Lomax has left the field. Joe Bucket has gone on, so that's going to add a bit more spice around that ruck area. We're going what you said, but the Australians are just making too many mistakes only because the Kiwis are getting up in their face and putting pressure on them.
Adamson.
Straight off me quickly. Back off, long.
Stevens. 3 line breaks from the Kiwis, just the one from Australia. Good indication of how this game has gone. Clyde has got the treatment from the start. Blackmore again all over him. Brad Thorne. Unusual for the Australians in the forwards to be running one out so early in the game.
Yeah, they're putting a little bit of pressure on themselves, not supporting one another.
Here's the chase. Reeds to hurry. And the chase coming from Smith, ran off Sailor and the kicker Daly himself.
Release quickly, hands up.
Now they will try
0.
and hunt for an error against New Zealand.
Well, that's what they're going to try and force, all right. Move up in a straight line.
6 mixed tackles against the Australians. Barnett stopped, restarted, still travelling. Finally finished off by Thorne and Smith. Bunganar with a touch to motor over that advantage line, try and turn them around. Good quick play of the ball. Eru pinched them for being offside. Good thinking again.
10 metre back to penalty.
Nothing wrong with the brain cells in the front row tonight.
No, good quick play of the balls. Started here on the Gatorade replay with Joe Bunganar. He got up pretty quickly to play it. I thought he might have been penalised for not standing up properly, but he got away with it and got New Zealand on a good roll, which ended up getting a penalty.
Bunganar. 30 metres out for the Kiwis. Pongia. Logan Swan. Behind them, needed somebody outside. Still they chance it here. Namu inside. Pongia. The Australians just hanging on. Absolutely desperate stakes for them. Might have been a tackle wasted in close. Looking for their 3rd try. Stacey Jones, Namu, Kearney. Managed still outside, now inside. The defence holds just 10 metres away. Namu spinning it out. Tony Iro, Ridge, Kevin Iro. Quickly, Stacey Jones, the Australians move up to shut it down, forcing them back to the 20. The Kiwis brilliantly keeping it alive. Still, Eru. Penalty will come for Australia. That is great pressure from the Australian defence this time.
It was outstanding defence from Australia there. They just didn't panic. They kept moving forward in defence, putting the pressure actually on the ball carrier and making New Zealand force the pass. We can see here on the Gatorade replay, penalty coming here. Darren Smith being tackled without the ball.
Lockyer. Australians needing a big play. They got it. Now the penalty to put them back on the attack. Haven't been able to settle with the ball. Daly. Adamson. Punishing. Absolutely punishing. It was Iro Incorporated. Sailor. Sailor gets in amongst it. Ran off to dummy half.
Come on, Stephen, get with me.
To send Stevens on his way. He takes it down to the 20. Green. Cutting out Clyde for Daly. Cuts out Lockyer for Girdler. Beats one. Will finish up about 12 away. Getting there still in big numbers, New Zealand. Green. Clyde on the inside. They change the angle but end up in trouble. Just one more remaining for Green to go out wide, looking for Sailor. Barnett needs support. Jones, was he offside? The Australians are offside. Now Sailor can't believe it. He goes over to have a go at the touch judge,
Just in front,
suggesting that Russell Smith saw something that just wasn't there. Check for yourself.
I'll referee the game. I'm looking at both sides.
Well, I mean, that was a pretty tough call, I think, on Australia, that particular thing we saw there on the Gatorade replay. I suppose the most important thing at the moment, the Australians have still got good field position. As long as they can maintain their line of defence, put some pressure on throughout this set of 6 tackles, they might be able to force that error.
Bunganar. Heavy stuff from Adamson. He takes it all. Still fights with 2 and 3. Stands his ground, says, get out of my way. Pongia. Pass was pushed out the back over that chance if Namu had been able to shift. Ridge getting it back out there where the chance was on. Logan Swan. Looking pretty comfortable. Man called in to replace Tower and Nicow. The Australians really slow this play the ball down. Pongia not expecting it. Everybody's standing still. Tony Iro says we've got to get it started. Barnett loses it. So just for a moment, they go off the boil, go off their game, let the Australians come back through Sailor. Can't give them a chance.
I think that one run just there is going to give Wendell Sailor a lot of confidence, because he's been hanging out the right wing, waiting for an opportunity. Play hasn't been coming his way.
Lockyer and Ridge. Lockyer! How good is this guy? The Australians climb back into it. You give them half a chance. Anywhere near the 50, they'll take it. Lockyer with the try. The man, Steve Renoff, calls the best in the world.
Yeah, well, I've got to agree with him. We can see here on the Gatorade replay, he just did it all on his own, this kid. Carried the ball on out in front of him to start with. He did Matthew Ridge like a dinner, just fended him away, went around under the black dot, came up with a well-needed four-pointer.
Bit of ability in this one, Gaz.
Oh, mate, certainly great ability here. Paul Green, of course, goes across. Lockyer stands him up. He actually gets through Swan. I think he's having a magnificent game so far. They put their feet apart there, and they were just lost. Quinton Pongia too. And Reggie just couldn't foot it with him. This young kid, that's the first time he's actually touched the ball, and mate, he's come away with a try. What a great try too for the young bloke in his first test.
On debut, you're right. So much ability.
I do think Wendell Sailor, though, played a little bit of a part in that. We can see here in the Rebel profile, Darren Lockyer, only a young man. He is going to be a thorn in the Kiwi side for many years to come.
Adamson. Just explaining to Lockyer how he did it all. Girdler. 5 test goals. Had an outstanding season himself. 25 in 2 weeks. Right in front. So a lot of the good work undone here at 10-6. Inside the last 10, it's been tough for the Australians. They have the big breeze at their back.
Well, Graham, as I started to say before, I think Wendell Sailor played a big part in that try, because he ran from dummy half. He gained them a good, valuable 10 metres, and really that's what got them on the roll.
Cooling off period for Bradley Clyde, who really has copped a hammering.
Yeah, just on that, Graham, Clyde, and of course Thorne have come from the field, and Greenhill and Webke. That's where I think the Kiwis have been beating Australia. They've really got up in the middle of the ruck and made more yards and been a lot harder in defence. That's why you've seen the hard knuckles, as his nickname, Greenhill's come on, and of course Webke from the Brisbane Broncos.
Gaz, just an interesting point about that bench. What about the bullets to fire from there? What about Mullins, the real match winner to come from there yet?
Well, I think Mullins will be injected into the game just after half-time. I think they have been playing down the right-hand side of Australia, which is, of course, Ryan Girdler's wing. And that's where Endicott said that just where he thought they were a little bit weak. And they have been playing off there with a short burst out of dummy half by, of course, our hooker, Eru, and, of course, Blackmore in the centres. And Tyron Smith is warming up too, just quickly.
Sineru, another penalty, the Australians offside. Saying that they got a head start from that play of the ball. Terrific effort from the Kiwi forward so far in this first 40. Another look at them. Gatorade replay, you could have picked off anybody. Penalties 2-1 in favour of New Zealand. Riggs into the line. Chase put down by Adamson. As Tony Iro gets a spell, he's earned it. Pongia. Daly forced to make a lot of tackles. The Australian captain from 5'8". Jones. Kearney. Last couple of sets of 6, the Kiwis have just gone a little bit flat in attack.
Yeah, the intensity's dropped off just a little bit.
Hang on. Greenhill says, let's fire up a bit. Now it's on.
I told you his knuckles is a nickname. He's given to them.
Somebody's gone out there to spark up the Australians. Ridge rushes up. I think he cops up. Blackmore's in there. Somebody might go to the bin just to try and settle it down. Russell Smith's out there somewhere amongst all of that. Seconds out. We'll leave it up to the referee. Now just to check here with Russell Smith. He'll call the touch judges in to see who started. Let's have a listen.
all I could see was to play the ball. Who was it that the Australian fella had a punch? Did you see the punch?
Yeah.
There was only a push from Kearney, and then he gave a punch. But after that, number one from New Zealand coming in, he started again. He started all going.
It might go against Ridge for rushing
I think
in.
really there's not been enough. I'm going to have a word with
Now there's a
the
punch there that went in. Now it looks as though it might have been Greenhill who started it. Now Ridge came in there. Kearney was mixing it. Which way's this going to go? Could be interesting because referees are pretty tough at the man that rushes in.
This guy went in. I am sending the player off.
Yeah, no, that's right.
It's very important that he calms himself down.
Yeah, no, he will, mate. Yeah.
We had another reaction. If I get another reaction, it could be serious trouble. Let's have a look at his number. 15. Matthew. Yeah, I know.
Free hit and just a penalty, is it?
Yeah, when we've got it under control, don't come running in and worsen the situation.
Well, I think he probably sorted it all out the right way. Greenhill stood his ground, said, I'll take you all on. Joe Bunganara was that rushed in as well.
Big Joe Graham, he let one fly, and then Greenhill thought, we'll play this, I'm getting back into it too. But both players been told to settle down, otherwise they'll take more serious action and probably send someone off.
7-3 the penalties. Pongia takes it to the 20. Inside the last 7.5. Hang on to your seats. Bunganara. Now we've got some feeling.
We're talking about emotion. There's emotion out there, don't worry about that.
Test football. Welcome to North Harbour. Tyron Smith takes them towards the 10. The Kiwis looking for a massive advantage before half-time. Namu, the switch is on for Jones. Now for Kearney. The defence holds its line. Terrific test here. Sitting up for New Zealand at the moment. Ridge taken by Daly. Over the top, Jones. Stacey Jones finished off 10 away. Last tackle. The defence has held under enormous pressure. Kevin Iro pushing the pass. Logan Swan wrapped up. Excellent defence.
Well, that was great defence there because the Australian side didn't number up properly, really. Out on their left-hand side, they were very, very thin. New Zealand not able to take advantage of it because the defence was, while it was thin, was very, very tough.
More tough stuff. Pongia really showing how strong he is. Tyron Smith flying in on Wendell Saylor. Russell Smith might have to have something to say again shortly. Here comes the man in question, Greenhill. Kearney went for the big shoulder charge. Daly. Kick and chase. Ridge was up short. Here comes Smith. Here comes Lockyer. Barnett hurries. And Ridge will be grabbed 10 away, so a good kick and chase.
Well, Matthew Ridge did very well to get out of that situation because he was claimed. He did very, very well to get a good 7 or 8 metres.
Barnett. Be a great comeback from him after missing last weekend's grand final. Poppy. Everybody's done their job for New Zealand. Just get the feeling, Gaz, that with all that possession, though, they need one more try before the break.
Yeah, they seem to do as Stacey Jones went for a bit of a scamper there, but I tell you what, they're still making it nice and tough from around that ruck area. Even though they've put on those hard men, they reckon, from Australia, the boys are really still taking it to them. And what we've got to remember, most of our blokes have been out for 5 or 6 weeks.
Kearney pushed the ground. Last tackle was coming up. That's a major mistake from Webke. Not of approval from Endicott, who knows they're getting 6 more down at the right end.
Well, we can see here on the Gatorade replay, Stephen Kearney already tackled there. Webke went in over the top. The referee had called play it. Johnny Lang will be a bit disappointed with that.
Hugely disappointed. Eru sends Joe Vunganar on his way. Taken low by Stevens. Pongia. Awkward one out. Kearney did well to pick it up. Still fights with them. Pushed back near the 30. Ridge staying in the line. Tyron Smith busting the line. And support was coming, just couldn't set it up. Ridge now for Stacey Jones. Namu inside. Namu with the step. Excellent defence from Webke. Ridge still a dummy half. Ridge can't reach. Only just hanging on, Australia. Last tackle. Can they find it out wide? Jones over the top and got it. No, they haven't. He'll be called back. Robbie Paul can't believe it. Around 15, 16,000 can't believe it. Judge for yourself.
You see here on the Gatorade replay, Stacey Jones just basketballing the pass over the top. Everyone wearing a New Zealand jumper thought it was a try.
Just interesting, tried to watch in the background there, the touch judge who never stood his ground. He was going to travel round to the in goal and probably give a nod.
Down a bit.
Well, all I can say is Russell Smith was in the right position to give the penalty, but I thought it was a fair ball.
Spoken like a true politician. Adams. 45 away for Australia. 2 minutes, 40 seconds on the clock. Lockyer got him back into it. Tries to find Girdler. Very quick match and tough. And plenty of skill as Gower hasn't had a lot to do. Started the season on a high in Super League. Off the ball a little bit late in the year, but plenty of ability. Midfield bomb for Ridge. Well taken. As always. Solid. Extra solid at the back.
He is extra solid, Matthew Ridge. I mean, he makes those things just look so simple. Laurie Daly cross-kicking and bringing it back from his right to left. Matthew just under plenty of pressure there, but he just, I mean, he's so clever at it. You just start taking things for granted when he does those sort of takes.
Barnett got rid of one. Need to make sure in this set of 6. Can't afford a mistake before half-time. Barnett for Tyron Smith, who's caused some trouble since he's got out there.
He's running close to the ruck, Tyron Smith, and he's a big, tall man. Been backed up by Gene Namu quite often, and the break could come there.
Blackmore down the sideline. Lockyer will have to come across. Lockyer taken. Good chase. They need a good 6 in defence to shut down this first 40. Playing into the big breeze. Nagus. Collier and Lomax have been strong in defence. Daly worked hard. He's had to. Reynolds got a hat-trick in the grand final. Man that must be stopped in this one. Greenhill. Another who was a standout in the final series for Cronulla. Deserves his chance. Gower looking for the sideline to soak up a bit of time. Put the Kiwis back under some pressure. And this one will come back to the 20. John Lang. Concerned man, he knows that the Kiwis have really grown in confidence.
They certainly have, and he also knows that they're going to go, we see here in the Gatorade replay, just a few too many weak picks behind that kick, but he knows they're going to go in at half-time, coming back out again with the wind behind them, the New Zealand side, and it's going to make them so much more tougher.
Seconds away from the break. Terrific reception coming up for the local heroes.
Not too early, 8.
Flying start. They've done it so well. 40 minutes away from a terrific upset against the world champions. North Harbour's alive here tonight in this test match. New Zealand, Australia. They're going to get on their feet to let them know what they think about the first 40. I think in their support of New Zealand. Just wonder if the personality of the year is out there amongst this team. Remember, your vote can count on 0900 330 33. Might be Stacey Jones, Namu, Frank Endicott, Reg, Mark Ellis, maybe even Stephen Kearney, who's playing well tonight. 99 cents a minute. And a reminder to all the kids to check Mum and Dad before you jump aboard. We'll announce the winner of that during the World Club Challenge. Vital stats, everything coming up trumps for the Kiwis at 10-6.
Well, certainly everything in New Zealand's favour there. 61% possession time, territory advantage, penalties 8-4 in favour of New Zealand, line breaks in favour of New Zealand. They've got everything their way. The writing on the stat sheet says New Zealand should win.
Frank Endicott, 40 minutes away from a test triumph against the world champions. Looks nice and relaxed. And Jones to come up with the touch. To send Pongia on his way. Pongia, Lomax, Tony Iro, Logan Swan, all the forward pack outstanding in the first half. Lomax back out there at the restart of what's going to be a pretty important 10 or 15 minutes. Tyron Smith.
Well, New Zealand won't want to be mucking around in their own half for too long. With that breeze behind them, they've got to make sure that they use it correctly, use it quickly if they need to. If they are getting bogged down, just get field position.
There was the chance out near halfway to go to it straight away, but they still wrestle with them.
Well, they've gained 50 metres from the kickoff, so they've done all right there.
Namu, good in support, getting it away from Sailor. Not a bad tactic to keep it away from Sailor, Lockyer or Nagus.
Well, that is the absolute correct tactic to use, because those three players are probably three of maybe the best in the world at bringing the ball back in loose play. Still plenty of breeze out there.
At the back of the New Zealand side. What transpired at half-time, Gary Freeman?
Well, just speaking of Frank Endicott then, as he just walked past, he's just saying, listen, let's not worry about the wind. Let's not think the wind is going to win us the game. Play out our sets of 6 and play Australia down in their own half. Make them make the mistakes and we'll come away with the win. That's what he said to me. John Langmore, he knows his side really has to improve, and handling the ball is one of the big areas that has let his side down, and the toughness around. Oh, what about the hit by Johnny Lomax? That's the sort of stuff that's going to win the Kiwis here today.
No doubt about it. Twice he produced. Now there's a high shot. Tyron Smith over the top.
Okay.
The Australians rushing in, having plenty to say.
Just a sec, Lottie. Come here, big fella.
This one might go on report.
We're over the top with the arm. We must make sure that we get below the neck.
That was the great hit from Lomax. Produced 2 of those in the first 40. This one on Adamson. Right on the chin, right on the button. Penalties at 8-5 in favour of New Zealand as Webke gets on a roll for Australia. Likewise from Stevens.
2, back off, Stephen! All the way, Steve.
Greenhill. Just rolling to the 20.
Back.
Green to the back line with Daly. Renoff to the outside of his man, now taken. Ball and all by Stacey Jones. Support there from Kevin Iro. Green for Daly. Now inside. Girdler. Taken by Blackmore. His defence has been spot on. Gower, one of the few times he's gone from dummy half to the in-goal Ridge. The chase is on. The effort is on to get out of there. Barnett! The Australians came from nowhere. Now Barnett argues that he got out of there. Looks a tough call, but they just got to get on with it now.
The line is in goal. The ball was on the line.
Judge for yourself on the Gatorade replay.
Back off, lads. Stephen!
Not sure on this one. Ball's not finished off there.
Well, what the referee was saying there, that he said the ball, when it's on the line, it's dead.
Well,
that's why he said it's a dropout.
Important set of 6 tackles coming up.
Keep behind the line.
Maybe the most important all night. Back-to-back sets of 6 for the Australians.
With this breeze, Matthew will be able to get a very good drop kick in here. Should be able to get it well down into the Australians' half.
Well, they've judged the breeze.
Right, Matthew.
They've dropped back 7 players inside their own territory. Now you know why. Green, I think this is a key. As we see Adamson take off, that Green has got to take the heat off Daly a bit. He's got to take off, give them something extra to think about.
Yeah, he's got to put a bit more variety into his play, maybe run a little more than he has been doing. And like you say, take that pressure off Laurie Daly, but also back up his forwards.
Daly with it now. Daly! Nearly got away.
Once again, excellent defence from Blackmore, though.
Nagus. Both he and Sailor might have to go looking infield a lot more. Still no Brett Mullins from the bench. Green. Lockyer up in the line. Spectacular individual effort to get Australia on the board in the first half. Last tackle.
Wait. 5.
Daly. To the in goal. Ridge hurries just in time. Well read, plenty of that pressure. Excellent kick from Daly.
It was a great kick from Daly, but well read from Matthew Ridge, just cruising across the park, just diffusing any danger situation.
The most important set of 6 so far gets put to bed on the Gatorade replay by Ridge. Now the Kiwis come back with some of their own.
Come on!
Barnett with a fine run, followed up by Jones, looks for support. Logan Swan is there, enjoying a good match as well. Lomax wound up by Frank Endicott, probably told he's got a good 15 minutes out there. Kearney steamrolls. Last tackle fires up this crowd and his team for Blackmore to kick ahead to the in goal. Lockyer with a lot of work to do. Here come the chasers. Right in front of their own post, stolen, 3 in the tackle. Not a good play. They had them nailed, only 3 or 4 metres out from their own line.
The old Darren Lockyer had to run across the face of his post. We can see here in the Gatorade replay, 3 men in the tackle there, but they've ruined it by stripping the ball.
Daly won't be able to improve it much because of that breeze. Jones, the thief in the night, as Lomax gives the treatment to Stevens. Greenhill.
New Zealand's got to be pretty careful here because they're testing the referee's patience, creeping up inside the 10 metres.
Now still just outside their own 20. Adamson will take it by himself. No support on his outside. Some tired Australians edging out of the danger zone. Daly. Lockyer. Renoff. Just grab. Nearly into full stride, nearly away. Daly on the last. Low into the breeze. Did well to get that one in. Barnett. Back towards Ridge.
Back off! Come on, this.
Excellent play from both sides to push it from either end.
And certainly the game well on the balance here. A lot of pressure on players on both sides, and they're just sweating on one another's mistakes.
Not much in it at 10-6.
Wait, Aussies, wait!
Think back to 1993. When the Aussies snuck away with a draw, late field goal by Daly. Missed tackles, having their say on this game, going in a big way against the Aussies. Namu. Jones. Kevin Iro. Over the top. Nothing wrong with this as they threaten to break away. Joe Vagana climbs amongst them into the 20, still fights with them, gets it away. Great play. Jones. Here's a link-up chance. Kearney. Australians on the rack trying to put pay. Eru. Vagana again, he tries a kick. Eru. Not sure about the kick from Vagana. Now it's the last. Ridge. Can he hang it up? He goes wide for Namu. Namu chances it with Blackmore. Goes to Hoppy, who goes infield. Infield and finds it. What a finish. They're going to go upstairs to the screen. What a sensational finish if they got this one down. You want to win a test match, you've got to gamble. Got to take chances. Ridge just checking with the referee. I don't know that he's sure that he got it down clean. Gatorade replay will need a couple more looks at this one. Photo finish.
Well, certainly, absolutely outstanding effort here from New Zealand. Looked like it was no try to me initially. Going to be a tough call for the video referee.
Now, was the ball stripped? He was making the tackle. Impact of the tackle. What a save from Darren Smith. Inches away from making life hell for the Australians.
So what great play, though, leading up to that from the New Zealand Kiwis. Absolutely fantastic. That is New Zealand Rugby League football and how it should be played. Backing one another up, using the ball. Draw and pass.
It'll be disappointment all round here. Lost over the line. No try. So close.
But outstanding defence, though, from Australia to get out of that. because it did have try written all over it.
I'll tell you what, if you take Darren Lockyer out of this side, Graham, mate, they would have been having about 4 tries scored against them. He's had a magnificent job at the back there. Not getting a lot of help from his boys up front, though.
He saved 2. Pretty indicative, though, Gary. You've probably picked it that the Kiwi forwards have outplayed them up the middle.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. They've risen to the challenge here, the New Zealand forwards.
Green.
And the New Zealand centres.
Strong defence from the 2 big men, Kevin Iro and Blackmore. Daly. No distance with those kicks. The Kiwis to come back on early tackles with great position.
Release! Backcrosses! 0.
Barnett from the far wing. Jones. Trying to skip out of some tackles. Stands. Pops it up for Hoppy. Danger sign as some of the little men stand and unload.
Well, especially when they do it in amongst the forwards, that would be very, very disappointing for Coach Johnny Lang.
Here comes one of the big men. John Lang. Rather on edge and on his feet. Finally settles as Lomax pushes it out the back door. For Tyron Smith. Great ball up. Did it roll forward. Couple of chances to get it right. They'll still pick up the dregs. Logan Swan.
3, back off. Come on.
Chance here to really lift again. Kearney. Taken by Gower. Namu. Blackmore. Ball and all by Nagus, last tackle. Namu. Man of the moment to hang one up. Who wants it? Needed to be a bit higher. Sailor loses it. They'll get it back, New Zealand. And without a doubt, this is the toughest set of 6 Australia will face all night. Daly can't believe the call. Gatorade replay.
Well weighted kick there from Gene Namu. Certainly looked to me like it come off Wendell Saylor. Wendell didn't agree with it. No, maybe that was a hand of Richard Barnett.
Came off the right arm. Bottom last touch from Barnett.
Yep.
It's all right. I'm not panicking over it. I don't want anybody coming on.
But the game is about tough calls. It's about grabbing the opportunity, grabbing the extra bonus. And there's a big one here for New Zealand.
That's a pretty good line dropout also into that breeze, over 40 metres.
Logan Swan. Can they just find that extra bit of variation? Little bit of difference as Banganar leads the way. Lomax says, I'll follow. And he takes it to 12 away. Exciting stuff at North Harbour. Jones. Namu. Staying outside. Kevin Iro. Great tackle from Renault. Enormous amounts of pressure. Jones. To Kearney. Blackmore was coming. Doesn't matter. Jones! Had to happen. Had to come. Good sides nail it. Great sides finish off.
Well, we can see here on the Gatorade replay, a finish off with some enormous pressure from the New Zealand side. Big Steve Kearney puts his foot down and backing up as he has done all day. Stacey Jones, he deserves that try, Hughesy.
Get back in your chair, Gaz.
Oh, mate, what a great feeling down here. The crowd have certainly gone off. But what's happened there? Steve Kearney's gone to the line against Australia. They started sliding. The inside cover never came across again in time. And again, Lockyer's had to try and clean up with Nagus. But watch Steve Kearney. He fades across there. All the Australians stop. They all go wide. And you see Craig Gower in the back. He hasn't come across to cover up that hole that they left there. Tremendous try there. And I'll tell you what, the crowd have gone mad. How good is it, Hughesy? Who did you pick?
Oh, nothing like a good halfback or a cheeky one sideline. 21 years of age, 10 tests, 4 tries on a Rebel Sport profile. Ridge! Oh, it's worse now. The Kiwis on fire, 16-6. 10 points in it here in this test, and a great one between New Zealand and Australia.
I think the most important thing about that try, Graham, was after all that pressure, they actually came away with the points, because it could have turned the game if they didn't pick up points. But they got the most important 6 probably of the match.
Everybody's been talking about the Jones boy in the last couple of moments. Now John Lang will go to a match winner. Spoke to Brett Mullins, guy that can turn a game, can produce something extra special. Bit of magic. In fact, lots of magic needed by the Aussies.
Well, Mullins has just gone onto the field, Graham, and he is replaced. Smith will go into the lock position, and Mullins will go to the centres.
Brilliant take by Stevens, the front rower. Would have been at home in the AFL Grand Final at the MCG.
The problem for Australia is that as good as Mullins is, I don't think his forwards are laying the platform.
Wedke. 59% possession. They've controlled the big stats. Territorial advantage. They've played the game just where they want. Darren Smith. The Australians continuing to work hard away from their own territory. Lang will not sit down. Daly. Lockyer. Off the left boot, out for Barnett. Got away from Renouf. Finally taken by Daly. Iro. If there's ever been the big criticism, Laurie, it's been about playing for the full 80. Tonight, even though some of these Warriors players have not played for about 5 weekends, don't look like they've missed a beat.
They've got the motivation of a real big opportunity to beat Australia out here tonight, and that's what's keeping them going. Don't worry about that. There'll be no one wanting to come off because they're tired.
Jones. Smith fumbles one on the inside, just a hint to let him back in there. Scrum feed will happen for Australia. Endicott knows that with about 24 and a half still remaining, can't even give them an inch.
You can't give Australia an inch. Frank definitely knows that. But I don't think the Kiwis are going to do that here, out there tonight. We see here on the Gatorade replay, a drop ball there from Tyron Smith. But mistakes play so big a part in these test matches.
Errors against New Zealand. Scoreboard strongly their way. What a tackle. Renouf really twisted in that one. Barnett helps him to his feet. Stevens. Kiwis are just flying in from everywhere. Brad Thorne back out there. He gets a heavy hit from Joe Bunganard. Green for Daly. Mullins. Ball was stolen. It'll be a penalty for Australia. Two in the tackle. Namu was the culprit. It'll give them an extra period of time on the Gatorade replay down at the right end.
Well, Mullins just trying to slice through that gap there. Gene Namu did strip the ball out there, tried to look innocent about it, but he was guilty of sin.
Inside the 20 as Renouf gets some treatment. They'll miss him as they come up with possession. The 27-year-old Prince of Centres. Hat-trick in the grand final last weekend. And our Rebel sport profile, they need him on deck and quickly. Gower milks some time, hopefully to get him back on deck.
Well, Steve Renouf looks to be...
May not be back at all.
He's pretty damaged there.
Adamson gets back out there as Renouf goes back sideline. Russell Smith still halts proceedings. Nothing wrong with these seconds, helping the Kiwis dig nice and deep. Webke. Lomax putting in a big period since half-time. Thorne setting it up for the Australians.
Well, I think Lomax has led the way for these forwards along with Kearney. Really dominated this Australian pack.
No Langer tonight. The onus falls for this man, Daly, and Paul Green to find a way through. Try and organise this green and gold machine. Green cutting out steam. Lockyer got one in the first 40. Now tried to find one for Girdler. Great defence, great cover. Nagus got away with no dummy at dummy half. Green to the in goal. Smith read it brilliantly. Did he lose it?
Lost it in goal, knock on.
The kick was an excellent one from Paul Green. Smith read it superbly, couldn't control control it, or did a Kiwi get in there to save?
Well, the Gatorade replay shows a great kick from Green. Smith just couldn't quite control the ball. They did everything right except score the try. This is going to be New Zealand's night.
Great pressure from Stacey Jones. Scored one, helped save one. 38 away from their own line. This is probably where I wouldn't mess around. I'd use the kick pretty quickly.
Your field position's so important because if they do start making mistakes, it will give the Aussies a little bit of a sniff in there, and that's the last thing New Zealand wants.
Logan Swan. Ridge. Deep behind the play, the ball, setting himself if he wants to go early. Vangana takes them over into Aussie territory.
Well, he's certainly had a huge impact since he's come on.
They've used it all. They've milked it all down to the last. Namu. Bombing away against Lockyer. Barnett travels. Lockyer loses. Kiwis have got it. Here's the chance. Now the door's open. Namu. Kevin Iro. Throws it over the top. Jones. Desperate attack and defence. Kearney stepping right up the middle. Taken just in front of the post. Midway through the second 40. Eru. Numbers if they could have gone wide. Jones. Vangana not expecting. He will try and straighten over the top. Better basketball from him for Ridge. Ridge left alone. The Kiwis making a rather dark night. A bit of a blackout here so far against Australia. Ridge setting them alight.
Well, the Gatorade replay shows Darren Lockyer making the crucial error here, but it came because there was so much pressure applied from the New Zealand side. After a good build-up of pressure, bit mixed up here, no one really knew what was going on, but Big Joe Vangana, he said, give it to me, I'll show you what's going to be done. A little bit of a basketball pass. Matthew Ridge, though, the individual try, a great skipper's lead.
Great effort. They have controlled the ball brilliantly, Gaz.
Oh, mate, they've done a magnificent job. But one thing the Australians are not doing, they're not going up and forward in defence. You see Big Joe there gets away, Matt Adams, throw the ball over to Matthew Ridge, I should say. He runs wide. You can see Daly pointing the finger, stay wide, and he let him go for a try. And aren't the boys happy? And I tell you what, the crowd, they are just going off, just like the players.
Ridge.
Time off, please, gents. Time off.
With a try. That really does set it up now, the 29-year-old. 22 test matches on our Rebel Sport profile. Skipper of his country, skipper of the Warriors. Had a tough year with injuries. He won't mind tonight as Lomax disappears up the tunnel. Just a bit of a hold-up as Ridge waits. I think for Mount for the kick as Tyron Smith gets a spell. He gets a wonderful reception. John Lang. What a past week for him. Absolutely valiant in defeat in the grand final. His Cronulla Sharks now taking on New Zealand in tests, looking down the barrel. Back-to-back major defeats. 2 out of 3 from Ridge.
I would say Matthew Ridge would put that try down as one of his favourites of all time. He's loved that against Australia.
Love nothing more to drag this one around on the breeze. Might just be another nail in the coffin. Still 19 minutes remaining, and this one to again bring down the house. Just short, didn't quite meet it. 26 New Zealand. 14 points in it. Terrific test here for New Zealand. Trophy up for grabs. Australia took the first one.
Come on, get on with it, lads.
But an absolute high-quality performance tonight. Mightn't be any Alan Langer or Lazarus for the Australians.
Big 10,
But
Big 10.
tonight, the Kiwis would have produced, I think, against any side.
Well, I think the most impressive thing about the New Zealand performance so far, it hasn't been individual, it's been based on teamwork, backing one another up. They've all had a dig, they've all done their job. That, to me, is the most impressive thing. And that is why Australia's behind on the scoreboard. And look at that enthusiasm. How'd you like to run into those two on a dark night?
Well, I mentioned them in the first 40. Iro Incorporated, not a bad man to bring from the bench midway through the second 40. Tony, Gary, who gave them plenty of trouble early.
Oh, mate, he certainly did give them plenty of trouble early in the match. But we've been, I'll tell you what, the best thing's happened here tonight. Endicott has used his subs at the right time. And, mate, they've all paid off. From Johnny Lomax coming off and all the rest of it. As Mullins goes for a bit of a scamper.
Well marked, taken by Barnett, as Saylor had gone infield looking for it. Daly, the Australians now forced to go to either sideline, really push it around, come up with an answer.
Right off, back off, Kiwis.
Darren Smith for Daly.
I'd hate to tell you, Graham, but they haven't got the answer tonight.
Go Quinton Pongia.
Pongia just read that one from an old Canberra teammate. Tony Iro ducking under a high tackle from Adamson.
Okay, yeah.
They want some more.
One.
Tell you what, the Shack would have been happy with that catch.
11, watch that swinging arm.
Vangana.
2. Wait, Altis, get in front.
Pongia.
Gary, I feel Matt Adamson's worked very hard for the Australian pack out there tonight.
Mate, he certainly has tried very, very hard, but you know, if you don't have the ball, you can't do much else but tackle, and that's what they're doing, the Australians. But the Kiwis, mate, Kevin Iro goes through another burst down the right-hand side field.
Hoppy takes them inside the 20. They look for one more. Deep, big numbers. Jones, the Australian sliding, trying to get across. Ridge, Tony Iro for a double! Did he roll over the line?
On a time up on that other one, the ground in there, buddy.
He's going to have a check upstairs. Was he finished off? Short of the line. Was there a double movement? Did he improve things? Did his momentum just take him into the in goal? Tough call. Gatorade replay.
Well, certainly Tony Iro, the giant. I mean, you wouldn't want to be underneath him when he's that close to the line. Wendell Saylor's a big man himself. But having that weight land on top of you, I think the referee's done the right job. Also calling for the video ref here.
Well, I think that his momentum, the tackle here lifted him into the in goal. He's finished off in the in goal and held up. Interesting to see the call down to Russell Smith. He can't get up and play. Short of the line. Ball never touched it. He had an opportunity now to try and force it, but Saylor cleverly underneath him with Lockyer.
Yeah, they were both dancing with it there. That's no try, but it's held up over the line.
Yep.
So they're chatting to Smith.
Is it hand over it?
No try. It'll be a handover for Australia.
Hand over, lad. Shot the line. Wait, lad, give him the ball. Give him the ball. Give him the ball. Tap it short. Play a ball.
Daly keen to get on with it as the clock winds down at around 16 minutes. They've got to find nearly a point a minute.
Hit the ball. Hit the ball.
I mean, you've also got to take into consideration and keep remembering New Zealand's already been over for another try as well. It was disallowed.
Ball was lost out the back. Now they're fired up. Massive tackles coming in from Vangana. Australians are down. Now he flew in on the Gatorade replay. Adamson, shoulder charge, I think, caught him pretty high, but he was going down in the tackle. Really took it around the head.
Well, that was Big Joe Vangana saying Marlow. That's what he was saying, Marlow and Samoan. Hello, Matthew.
Oh, I thought that was Milo.
Unbelievable defence amongst the forwards, and if they haven't caught up with them up the middle, Gaz, you've had to go looking out wide against Blackmore and Kevin Iro.
Mate, all around the paddock tonight, the Kiwis really, I think they've just outplayed everywhere on the paddock, the Australian side. I think the worst damage there to Matthew Adamson was when his head hit the ground, just knocked him straight out. I think that's when he lost the ball, but the boys up front, they have done a magnificent job going forward with only 15-odd minutes to go in this game, mate. I think they've got it wrapped up. They're really got to now control the ball, and they'll finish this game out on top.
Well, they can't lose it from here. They just cannot lose the game from here. They're playing too well. They're playing with too much confidence. And really, Australia's got to go catch-up football mode or they've got no chance. And that's only going to bring more mistakes.
Yeah,
Well, they might be looking down the barrel at another 6 right here and now as Jones feeds it. Australians screw the scrum. And Russell Smith picks the tactic, will not let them get away with it.
Down again. Keep it square, the scrum, lads. Hold it, hold it, hold it.
Another sloppy scrum, but this time it does sit up for Stacey Jones.
Wait, wait, wait.
Could be the chance to make sure of it. Logan Swan.
Back off.
Anything's important, even the extra one, just a field goal. A little bit of salt into the wound if they want to grab it. Pongia.
Back off. Let it play.
If they go down to the last, it may not be a bad option. Bangana. Back for Eru. Stacey Jones. Namu. Quick hands. Kevin Iro. Hoppy. Bit of an awkward one for him. Gets away from one. Takes it down to just 10 metres away.
Let him off.
Eru. From dummy. Half. And he's got it. Tell you what, there's nothing wrong with the way he's thought about it.
Watch out. That's a try.
Now he's going to check upstairs. Touch judge had a quick word to him, but Sid Eru tonight has been switched on. Got the flyer for him, got one that might say goodnight to him.
Well, the Gatorade replay shows the menace he's been there tonight. He scored that, he forced it down. That was a fair try, but he's been darting out of dummy half all night, really causing problems, and this time...
And you go, the Kiwis are home, son.
24-6. New Zealand storming from the start, are storming home.
Oh, look.
Games for the Kiwis. Ridge from out on the chalk. 2 out of 2. They've been difficult ones for Ridge tonight. A lot of breeze here at this North Harbour Stadium in Auckland. On the wrong leg. We'll have to fade this one back with the breeze. Again, doesn't meet it. But they're doing it with 4-pointers. That's most important. 24-6.
Yeah, well, Reggie be running back down, caused some damage out there. Blackmore probably a little lucky at the start of the game to get away with the tackle that he put on Bradley Clyde, but he did get away with it.
Webke. Might be more about it later. He won't be concerned at the moment. Nagus. Australians being punished everywhere. Thorne. Namu in there. Take on the big front rower. 15 missed tackles against Australia. This will make them seriously think as they get set for the 3-test tour against Great Britain, Australia, towards the end of October. Prittis out there from the bench will play the last 11 and a half minutes. Lockyer.
Not too soon, Robin.
Individual skill kept him in there in the first 40. Great ball up from Adamson for Gower to kick and follow. Barnett had a points decision tonight against Silent.
He certainly has. He's had a very fine game, Barnett.
Heading for their first win at home against Australia since 1985. Found a great win against Australia at Melbourne in 1991.
Keep coming back.
59%. They've controlled the possession tonight through giants like Tony Iro. 61% of territory.
Keep coming, 10.
Tony Iro certainly would have shut a few of his critics up there tonight.
What about Joe Baganar? Just waltzing through the middle of the pack. What a run.
Well, the thing about Joe Baganar is Frank Edicott's got the key. He knows how to turn him on. That's the thing.
Namu, Kearney, Swan. Holding it out, a number of the New Zealand players just in one hand, almost taunting the Australians. Ridge and Namu. Spectacular leap from Mullins, probably the best in the business at it.
Got him up. 0.
Sailor.
Let him up, on. Go on, Stephen.
Thorne.
2, get up in this
Coming
one.
off the end of a grand final, everybody was arguing the advantage of match fitness for the Australians. But it's all set up for New Zealand. Here comes Blackmore. Great tackle.
Let him on.
Super tackle from Stevens. He wants to go on with it. So does Blackmore. Said, I don't need a second invite.
Away, okay.
Kiwis will end up with the penalty.
Okay, relax.
Stevens wants to argue the point.
Don't hold him down there. But Richie, I'm going to penalise him for interference.
Interesting call here. Gatorade replay. This was the pickup. And I think Russell Smith's going to go against Blackmore.
That was a poor pass from Darren Smith because it could have resulted in a try.
Gave him a push. Now he's going to stay with New Zealand.
Time off, lads. Man injured.
Now Darren for the Kiwis. Got 18,000 helping to support them to the try line.
Play on.
Pongia up for Robbie Paul. Robbie Paul not finished off, was he? Now the Australians have said that the ball touched the ground. Was he held at the time though? That's the question.
I have my doubts whether actually had hold of his leg, Barry, but let's be safe.
Now if the ball touched the deck and then a hand was laid on him, he's finished off. Gatorade replay.
Well, it shows a real strong and determined and skillful kid here.
He looks free. To me, he looks as though he wasn't finished off. The Aussies argued. Robbie Paul got up saying, this is mine. Didn't look as though that he was held.
Thanks, Al.
Tell you what, I thought he wasn't really held. As Lockyer goes to the sideline, let's take you to Gary Freeman and Sideru.
There, Sideru's with me, mate, and what a great feeling. There's 8 minutes to go, mate, and what a tremendous win here for the Kiwis.
Oh, for sure. You know, the forwards are going forward, and they deserve the victory themselves. You know, without them, you know, I suppose they only get a couple of tries tonight. But a great year.
Well, you're part of the forwards anyway, mate, so it doesn't matter. You scored 2 tries and you're happy as Larry.
Oh, that's it. You know, great play of the boards, quick play of the boards, and that's all. You know, that's what I can ask for.
What about the crowd, mate? Tremendous.
Oh, excellent. They're right behind the Kiwis here, and it's good to get a victory at home. And it's been a long time coming.
That's great, mate. All the best, mate. Go and enjoy it with the rest of the team.
Cheers, Woz.
Outstanding effort from Sideru tonight.
Well, I think Sideru is just one of many, many heroes out there wearing black and white out there tonight.
The Australians.
Back off.
Last tackle, searching to put some respectability back into that scoreboard. Hoppy leaving it alone out over the sideline.
Yeah, well, Sean Hoppy, he just wants to let the clock run down now. He's quite happy with the scrum. Just let the clock run down, waste the minutes, get ready to celebrate. That's what they're thinking about now. Gatorade replay just shows a little chip over.
Hold him here, lad.
No one was interested in grabbing the ball, just let it go over the sideline.
Hold your 5, lads, till it's out.
Rather ironic if it stays as is.
Stay in the
Last
back,
time the
back, stay
Kiwis
in the
won on
back.
home soil was 1985 against the Aussies.
And that was the last time you shouted. But I'm telling you what, mate, you're going to make up for it tonight.
18-point spread, 18-0 in a shutout that day. 18 points in this one. 6.5 minutes only. Crowd here, and I guess everybody at home wishing this one wasn't going to finish. Timu out there from the bench. Webke has plenty to say. He gets marked 10. The tough night turns into absolute frustration. Gatorade replay.
Well, Robbie Paul just trying to play the ball quickly there. Wasn't allowed to.
Kiwis back on the attack. Penalties are their way. 10-8. Just outside the 20. Pongia to the bench.
Get the hands out the face.
Robbie Paul. They've worried them everywhere. To the open side, to the short side. Quick play the balls. They've been alert all night.
Release, lad. Release, Lonnie. 2.
One of the great nights for New Zealand Rugby League. Namu. A top. Blackmore just misread it. No doubt about the try being on if the pass was good and he had have got there in time.
Yeah, well, the Gatorade replay shows Gene Namu fading across the field. Couldn't quite get enough legs on that ball to Richie Blackmore. Otherwise, another try was there on the offering.
Kiwis. Gene, holding 5 metres till it's out.
Talking of workers tonight, 10-9 the total errors against the Australians. Up front, Lomax, Eru outstanding, so too Quentin Ponga. Here he is with Gary Freeman.
Well, mate, terrific effort from the forwards up front and very happy with the victory so far.
Yeah, Gary, it's huge, mate. The game's out. I don't know what to say, mate. It's just, I haven't won a game against the Australians since I played for the Kiwis, and it's the best feeling ever, and it should be a big night tonight, Gary.
Does it mean shouting or you're shouting?
It means I'm shouting, mate.
That's tremendous, mate. You've played actually sensational. The team's played as a team, mate, and that's what really has helped you with the victory here tonight.
I think the boys are very proud of themselves tonight. They all stood up, and I think every guy should give themselves a pat on the back, and they all got player of the day as far as I'm concerned.
Well, mate, the Aussies will be saying, well, that was only our second-rate side or something like that, but you boys have been out of work for something 5 or 6 weeks, and you just give it to them.
It's a huge effort from the boys, especially the Warrior boys. They've been out for 4 or 5 weeks, and very good effort all around the park, and, mate, like I said, I'll be having a few beers tonight.
All the best, Quentin. Don't enjoy it, brother.
Both tastes rather good. He spelled it out correctly. Superb team performance. Ridge to hold out from this ball. Lockyer, brilliant again. Once more, just a couple of touches tonight to remind everybody how good he is. Incredible leap to grab a double here, and Australia's second try.
Well, we can see here on the Gatorade replay a well-placed bomb, plenty of height in it. Darren Lockyer screaming through, out-jumped Ridgie, came up with a very, very good individual try.
Ridge did deserve a little bit better support here. Needed to rush back and stop that impact. Looking down the barrel. Another 2 points, but looking down the barrel to City here in New Zealand that is going to rock tonight to celebrate this Kiwi victory at 24-12. Tells a story.
Yeah, well, on the opposite side, you've got Frankie Endicott, and he's really shown again his value with man management. I think he's done a great job building this team up for this week. I think he's extracted every ounce of experience and form out of these players.
Greenhill, another who has done it pretty tough the last 7 days, lost the grand final to Brisbane, grabs an Australian test jumper, and has to come up against a red-hot Kiwi outfit. Blackmore. Difficult if you really have to settle on a man of the match tonight for New Zealand.
Well,
a rather long debate.
You could give it to anybody.
Poppy.
Certainly the forwards have laid the foundation. I mean, they've just given it to the Australian forwards. I don't think the Aussies had an answer.
Inside the last 90 seconds, Ridge. Back for Namu. Terrific step. The man with the ball now deserves to finish out there, Lomax. Shortened the Australians up early. Robbie Tall was great skill. And Lockyer with another save. He's probably saved 3 tries tonight. Now Ridge will take a tap because I don't think the crowd will just want 2. They want to hopefully finish with a try last 50 seconds. Does the right thing for around 18,000 here. Tony Iro. Just a couple of metres away. Last 45. Poppy. The Australians out on their feet. Kiwis have dominated at the right end of the field all night long. Kearney! Jones gets another one in! They will party all night long. You're not just looking down the barrel at some great play tonight. You're looking down the barrel at International Rugby League coming back to life.
You're looking down the barrel, as we see here on the Gatorade replay, Robbie Paul making a great bust. You're looking down the barrel, I think, at an international massacre.
Great step from Kearney, great support. Lockyer could not save this one. Terrific setup from Kearney. Jones, what an effort from him tonight. He'll set it up for Reds alongside the post. Siren's gone. Let's take it down to Gary Freeman.
Oh, mate, what about that try there, Frank? You must be very happy and very proud of how the boys have played tonight.
Yeah, Wiz, for sure. You know, a magnificent performance from a magnificent team, and I asked them tonight, every player, to have a man of the match performance. They've done that.
Mate, I certainly say, I don't think anyone could pick man of the match, mate. It was just tremendous team effort, and most of the boys all been out for 5 or 6 weeks and really turned in a proud performance, especially the forwards, mate. I thought they were outstanding for you.
They were superb. I thought our 2 big centres played well tonight. In fact, they all played well. We can have a big night tonight, Wiz.
That's what they've all been saying, mate. Well, I'll tell you what, the crowd have enjoyed it. We've enjoyed it. All the New Zealand people have enjoyed it. Mate, you go out there and enjoy yourself. Tremendous.
Thanks very much, Wiz.
Thanks, mate. All the best. There he goes.
Outstanding effort from coach and squad. Look at the scoreline. You want to think about dreams in rugby league. Nobody would have dreamt up this scoreline. 30-12. The Kiwis, right from the kickoff, just made sure this game was theirs.
Well, they certainly do. I think they've done every single thing right tonight. There's nothing at all that they could look back on and say, well, we could have done that better, because they've done everything right. Their defence was magnificent. The big fellas really paved the way down the middle. They put it to Australia, and Australia didn't have an answer, and that's the thing that I like most of all, and that's the thing most of all that I like saying to you, Mr. Hughes.
Well, I tell you what, all they have to do tonight is bring out a table, put the drinks on halfway, and 18,000 will stay till whenever. 30-12. 18-point spread. Let's take you down, sideline again to Gary Freeman. We'll come back to him in a moment as the Kiwi squad just deservedly take a waltz round this North Harbour Stadium that is rocked with a resounding victory. And a great atmosphere tonight from all the fans that turned up to see the Jones boys do their stuff. Tony Iro, outstanding, out wide, they couldn't handle him.
Well, he's a good player, Tony Iro.
Let's again go back to Gary Freeman.
Okay, Laurie Daly, mate, a little bit disappointed. Tried hard, but you know, what do you expect out of the boys playing the grand final last week?
Yeah, you know, we're not going to look for excuses, Wiz. Kiwis played better than us tonight, and they deserved their win. Yeah,
they were actually outstanding in the forwards, and the 2 big centres, Blackmore and Iro, they were pretty hard to handle tonight.
Yeah, they were, mate. As I say, they played very well all over the park. Yeah, guys, just we didn't come up, but you know, we'll be back. That's one they've got off us in the last 5 or 10 years, so take a bit of solace out of that.
Yeah, mate, well, we only won a couple of other ones. That was in 91. I was involved. That was a tremendous feeling, so I know how those boys are feeling. Well, I've lost plenty of times to you, so has the Kiwi side, so we know how you're feeling at the same time, Laurie. Mate, we'll let you go enjoy a beer. Nice, quiet one. I might have one with you later.
Cheers, Wiz.
There you go, mate. Thanks, mate.
Tried hard, Daly, tonight. They're still going to keep on celebrating here with the fans. We'll settle down a few problems here, and let's take you back sideline again with Steve Kearney.
Well, Steve Kearney, how good is it, mate?
It's been a long time, Wiz. You know, awesome, man. Awesome, mate.
I want to have the crowd, mate. Look at them all standing there cheering, Eric. Look at that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I mean, you know, rugby league in New Zealand has been taking a bit of a hiding over the last year, and to sort of finish the season like this is a real high, you know. Awesome.
Yeah, well, mate, I reckon you can all stand up and hold your heads high. Go and have a couple of line reds, nice quiet ones that the good Gordon will put on for you, mate.
Sure,
and enjoy